Early childhood education is not global warming. It's not secondhand smoke. And what I mean by that is you're hearing all these reports come out from these brilliant scientists that global warming doesn't exist or that secondhand smoke doesn't have an impact on you, which I don't believe. But the early childhood stuff is, no one contested anymore. I mean, I was named the chair of the House Education Committee over 3.5 years ago now, and one of the first people we had to come testify was Joan Firestone, who I thought I saw here a little while ago. And they show the brain scan. I mean, they show the activity at the young age. This stuff is not contestable. I mean, we as, supposedly educated folks that are making decisions on budgets and priorities and investments, we know the impact. I mean, the Perry High Scope study was done. We know the investment, early on pays off long term. All the, the research that shows the amount of money that goes into incarceration and social services for folks that don't get the benefit early on. It's mind-boggling from the legislative side that we can't find a way to do more of an investment. Because that's what it is, purely an investment. We know we're going to be paid back. Part of the problem, maybe term limits. We're losing a huge advocate like Senator Jacobs. Because of term limits, I wish he could stay there forever. Not that you probably want to stay there forever. But with term limits, it's kind of a different argument. Term limits, if you only stay 6 years in the House or 8 years in the Senate, it's hard to invest long term because you're not going to be around to see the impact. So the money you're investing now, you don't really see the benefit until 10 or 14 years later when we're long gone. So the mentality, it seems like, not just in government and politics, is instant gratification. And our country has sort of turned that way. So investing long term is something the legislature is not very good at doing. A couple things that we're looking at right now. I received a ton of emails. There was some talk about getting rid of the foreign language requirement at the high school level. We believe foreign language is important, but I will tell you, having a 2-year-old son now, that it's a lot easier for a child to learn it in the earlier years than it is in the later years. I took 4 years of French in high school. I don't think I can say a word in French. So I got all A's in French, but obviously right now it didn't really stick with me. So maybe moving that foreign language requirement to the earlier years. And lastly, I see a huge impact, particularly in my district, around quality daycare. We've got a tremendous amount of relative care providers that are in the system, and when we've seen the results, there was an audit done, and there's a high level of fraud and errors made on this. I want to see more of these kids in a high-quality, licensed daycare setting where they're actually being read to and they're learning on a daily basis. So we've got a package of bills that are actually on the House floor right now, this daycare package that we've been working on for 3 years. And we'd like to eventually get to the North Carolina model where they're doing 5-star rating systems. So you as a parent, as you're choosing a daycare system, you can actually look and find out how are they rated, what is your child going to get while they're there, and is it educationally related. Right now, being accredited, the provider doesn't receive any more money, there's more loopholes that have to be jumped through. So really what we want to do is make sure that we're providing quality access to daycare at the young ages, particularly in these urban centers of high poverty. We want to make sure that's one of this whole early childhood piece gets included in there. So with that, I'm a big advocate. We need to find a way to prioritize this because of the long-term impact and bringing this to the front and center as the legislature particularly does a budget this year.